Hey there, everybody. We're back again for another Talking Time-Lapse video with your friend Josh Davenport, creator of RGBros comics. After a strange short holiday hiatus brought on by partially a lot of traveling and partially some technical difficulties that I'll get to a little later in the video. First, I want to give a shout out to the people supporting this comic and all the other ones over on Patreon, patreon.com/Josh Davenport. I want to give a quick thank you very much to Brandon, Dan, Vivian, and Matt. Thank you all so very much for helping me keep up working on the site and the comics and these videos. I hope you're all enjoying all of them. So, about those technical difficulties, apparently my version of Adobe Media Encoder, which is what compresses these videos and puts them in the right file format. It's version CS6 and it's gone a little wonky. I don't know if it's because they upgraded to Windows 10 or what, but now every time I make a video and I process it, it creates 15 to 20 gigs of extra temp data and just stores it some magical place that I can't find. So it eventually goes away, but in the meantime, it gums up the works on my computer and makes it not want to do anything, leastwise finish rendering the video that I'm actually working on, because it'll just get close to the end and either take 500 years and not do it, or finish up, quote unquote, and then give me a warning that's like, oh, hey, do you realize your video is a piece of crap that's not going to work? Thanks a lot. But anyway, about the comic, this is RGBros Elf on Your Shelf, or Elf on Yourself, featuring the Elf on the Shelf. Not the official Elf on the Shelf, because, I don't know, this is parody, it's fine. Anyway, if you noticed that first frame back there was a short period of time where I was trying out different mouths on Reggie yet again. I thought about doing the little Super Mario 2, nose bubble or whatever that sometimes cartoon characters get when they're asleep, and a big old snot bubbles coming out of their nose for some reason. I don't know, I just like doing that. And here's the third frame that went through a big change from what I had originally thought I was going to do, which was having Reggie just jump out his window, get out of the house. But then I reconsidered it and I was like, well, the joke will probably work better if we just keep it all in the room, so I decided against that, but it took me a minute. I got, a little far into the drawing process here of Reggie leaping out, and I also couldn't quite decide on what position I wanted him to take coming out, because I feel like that squatting, leaping thing, I don't know, I felt like it could have been more dynamic. But either way, changed up my mind, went with this version here, which I think worked out even better than what I was planning before. I don't know about your house, but Elf on the Shelf is something we do around here. Not because me and my wife are super into it, because we're not. I frankly find the thing a little bit disturbing. But, we have a daughter, and, she's 6, and she is crazy about it. So the elf gets around our house pretty regularly. He didn't move around as much this year for some reason. I don't know, maybe he, me, was a little lazier than normal this year, because we were doing so much, there's just so much going on. We were going around to different family members' houses. But he, got up in a light fixture at one point, climbed inside this old chest at another point. Nothing super exciting, but, kids still enjoyed catching it out and about. But, the thing about those elves is that they get around, the house. And for some reason, I don't know, it reminds me of that movie Cat's Eye. I don't know if you've ever seen that. I wonder if the elf has ever come across the little goblin from that, had to fight it, or conversely, ended up on the wrong end of a cat, because of a case of mistaken identity. Not that I'd be super surprised if these elves on a shelf were stealing people's breath out of their mouths. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just go watch Cat's Eye. I'm sure you can find it somewhere. And I tried something different with this comic which you'll notice with the pillow and then with the fur around the elf's hat. I decided to go in the inking process with like a light gray for the ink portion on that, and I kind of like the way it turned out. It makes inking a little bit more difficult for me, but I think it's probably easier ways for me to ink this anyway that I'm just not doing yet. But it is a new year, and it's time to try some new stuff. So Happy New Year, since I haven't talked to you since before then. We're now officially neck deep in 2017, for better or worse, although I don't know. I'm sure there's plenty of ways it can be worse than 2016. I better not jinx myself. But we're in it. And this starts, I'm actually right in between Wednesday of this week, which is the night I'm talking to you right now. I put out the last comic of the third year of RGBros, because I started as the very first RGBros comic came out on January 6th of 2014, and so this Friday is January 6th, and it'll be the official start of year 4 of the comic, and I will have a comic coming out on Friday. I can't divulge too much about it. I don't know if it's going to be anything super spectacular having to do with the year 4 or whatever, but we'll see. We'll see what it's about. Hopefully you'll enjoy it as much as I enjoy making it for you. But I hope all your holidays were nice. Mine were pretty good. Like I said, just a lot of traveling. Got some good family time in, which is always good. The only thing I don't like about traveling is sleeping at other people's houses. I almost never get good sleep no matter where I go if it's not my own bed. I don't know what it is. It just it doesn't work out. It's either like the bed is fine but the pillows are too hard, or the pillows are fine but the bed's too soft. It's like being freaking, Goldilocks or something. It's a curse. One of the benefits of changing up my idea for the third frame, as you can see here, is that I get to drag over some of the inks from one frame to the next, which doesn't often happen for me, but when it does, I do enjoy the speed up in the workflow from doing as such. But like I said, going into year 4, got some decent plans for this year. Hopefully, this will be the year I finally get a book out and get some merch going. I'm definitely going to try and do like some stickers and other cool stuff this year. And like I mentioned at the beginning of the post, the people on Patreon who are helping out with all this, they're going to probably get some of that. I know a couple of tiers are definitely getting some of that, gratis. But hopefully I'll be able to do something special for the lower tiers as well. I'm planning on it. So, I'm not going to announce exactly what that's going to be, but look out for things coming this year to you if you are a patron of this comic. And then, of course, comics and videos and updates coming to everybody who's just coming to the site. You're welcome as well. I'm not trying to slight any of you. I'm giving you the content that hopefully you're enjoying. There's Reggie's bug eyes. Those little foldy flap arms. I think at one point I was thinking about having the thing shove the arm like right into Reggie's mouth, but I changed that for better or worse. And we haven't gotten to the dialogue yet, but this is about, I think, as close as I've come to dropping the old F-bomb in RGBros. Not that I have anything against, using the F word. I use it fairly regularly in my everyday life. I just don't know. There's something I haven't put in the comic yet. I've actually been pulling back a little bit on just cursing in the comic in general lately. Not because I'm against it. I'm not at all. And there are plenty of comics I enjoy that do a lot of it. I'm not putting anybody down for, doing the cursing. And I'll probably do some more in the future. But for some reason lately, I just haven't done as much. And I can't say it's been like super conscious. I haven't been like, oh, I don't want to, upset the children. It just hasn't happened. And I'm trying more and more to use it only when it's really necessary for a punchline or something like that, or a joke. And sometimes it's not. As much as you want to say some nasty stuff. it just doesn't make sense sometimes, and I'm never just going to try and throw it in there for the hell of it. You know, you know what I mean. But speaking of like merchandise and stuff, if there's anything you guys watching this video, or you feel like you're like, oh man, I'd like to get something with that on it from the comic, drop something down in the comments, or hit me up on Facebook or Twitter and let me know if there's something or a certain comic or a character that you'd love to get put on something. I'm always interested to hear what people will actually enjoy, because I know the ideas that I have, and I'm fairly certain they're good for me and my stuff. But I want to make sure y'all are getting what y'all wants too. It's a two-way street. Oh man, there's like some fluff coming off my shirt here. I got this cool shirt a while back. It's got like a break apart of an old NES controller, and there's like a thread coming loose on the front of it, which is the first sign. It's the sign of the end times, folks. This shirt may be headed for bad days. Oh no, there it just came off clean. We're all good. Nobody panic. I know you were all super worried, but we're cool. Everything's cool. We can go back about our daily lives. Here we go with the old nighttime shading routine, which adds extra time, but I always love doing it. Now that I understand, I think I'm getting better every time at this. Not to toot my own horn, but everybody, if you do something long enough, you eventually get better at it. So I think it's working pretty good in this comic. It takes me a little bit to get back in the swing here. So I'll change things around quite a few times, go through different shades of purple, maybe darker blue, just trying to find that perfect nighttime look. And nighttime for me is always like the best way to like shoot it or color it is always like that old Halloween, the movie Halloween, like blue, blackish light. I think I tend to use a little bit more purple in the comic from time to time, but yeah. Good nighttime shading for me, blue. That's how I usually think about it. Went to see Rogue One over the break. I'm sure a few of you did as well. I think Wednesday's comic this week was actually about it. It might be a little too inside baseball for people who haven't seen the movie yet, but I hope you saw that comic and enjoyed it. I'm not going to do any spoilers here, but for the most part, I really liked the movie. It did the things I wanted to do and didn't do the things I didn't want it to do, and I'm not going to go out and say it's the best Star Wars movie that's ever made, because I don't think that's true. It's always the original trilogy for me, hands down. The ungoobered up versions. But it was enjoyable. Went in, had a good time. Came out and I was like, good stuff. So I recommend it. I don't think I'm not saying it's going to change your life, but you'll probably enjoy it. There's a movie review for you. It's okay, but it probably won't change your life. A thumb? Put that on the back of the DVD. I'm sure they will. So many people, I can't tell you how many from Disney and LucasArts are just Lucasfilm, LucasArts. I don't even think LucasArts is a thing anymore. But Lucasfilm, listening to this, I know you're all just clamoring. You're wanting to know what my opinion was, and now you have it. Let your thirst for review be, it's not even a review. You can't be satiated off that. But you've got my vague word on it, and maybe sometime in the near future I'll let you know explicitly what I thought about it. I've been thinking about talking about movies and stuff a little more on here, or expanding on that somewhere else. So we'll see. But it looks like we're getting down to the very end of this. And I want to thank you all again for coming by and listening to me rant and ramble on about, elves and trolls and whatever else have you. And thanks again. Thanks to all of you for coming and checking this out. Thanks for coming and reading the comics. And thanks for the support on Patreon, folks. Have a good one, and I will catch you later.